You know, there are some feelings that are just universal, right? Things like friendship, saying goodbye, that really bittersweet feeling of a final moment you know you'll never get back. So today, we're not just going to read one of the most famous farewell poems in Chinese history, we're going to feel it. We're going to try and understand why its message is just as powerful today as it was 1,300 years ago. Let's get into it.
Okay, first things first. Just listen. Don't worry about the meaning yet. Just let the sound and the rhythm of the original Tang Dynasty Mandarin wash over you. This is how it would have been heard all those centuries ago.
And here's what that feels like in English. Now, this isn't a literal word-for-word translation. It's more about capturing the spirit of it. A quiet, rain-washed morning. A final drink. And then that stark, lonely truth of the journey ahead. It's so simple, right? But man, it is incredibly deep.
So, to really get this poem, to feel what the poet Wang Wei was getting at, we got to take a step back and look at his world. Because the power of these words, well, it's not just in the words themselves, but in the context that gives them so much weight. This guy, Wang Wei, he was basically the definition of a Renaissance man, but hundreds of years before the Renaissance. He was a high-ranking government official, a truly brilliant painter, a gifted musician, and, of course, a legendary poet. His art was so infused with his Buddhist beliefs that people gave him the nickname the Poet Buddha.
And check this out. This quote from another famous poet, Su Shi, who came later, just nails it. There is painting in his poetry and poetry in his painting. Wang Wei didn't just write words. He painted vivid pictures with them. He created these entire sensory experiences for you, the reader, and that is exactly what he's doing in this poem. Okay, so this is absolutely key to understanding the whole poem. You have to understand the journey his friend is taking. He's leaving this place, Weicheng, which stands for civilization, friendship, comfort, everything familiar, and he's heading west, past a place called the Yangguan Pass, which was basically the edge of the known world. Beyond that, the frontier, hardship, emptiness, and a loneliness that is just profound. So yeah, this is not your average business trip. This is a journey into the great unknown. All right, let's dive into the poem itself, starting with those first two lines. Now, you'd think a sad poem would start off all dark and gloomy, right? Well, Wang Wei does the complete opposite, which is just brilliant. A morning rain in Weicheng dampens the light dust. So the rain here isn't some big dramatic downpour. It's a light, gentle morning shower. The key character in the original Chinese, yi, it means to moisten, to just make something damp, not soak it.
And this is where you see his genius, right? This light rain washes the air clean. It settles all the dust on the road, literally making the path ahead clearer for his friend. It's almost as if nature itself is giving the journey a fresh start, a clean slate, instead of just a sad, tear-soaked goodbye.
And then he hits us with this image. The guest house willows are fresh with green. You can just picture it. After that soft rain, the green of the willow leaves is just popping. It's vibrant, it's new, it's full of life. It's a gorgeous visual. But the willow tree, that's the real key here.
So, back in the Tang Dynasty, the willow tree was the symbol of saying goodbye. It was a huge deal. And get this, the reason why is a bit of a pun. The word for willow, liu, sounds exactly like the word for to stay or to remain, liu. So friends would literally break off a willow branch and hand it to the person leaving as the silent, symbolic way of saying, please stay. By setting the scene among these willows, Wang Wei is filling the air with that unspoken feeling of part.
So the first two lines, they paint this gorgeous, bittersweet scene. But now, in the last two lines, the camera kind of zooms in, focusing right on the two friends. And this is where the poem's emotional punch really lands. I mean, really think about it. You're with your best friend, they're about to leave, and you might never see them again. What do you even do? What single gesture can possibly hold everything you want to say? Well, Wang Wei's answer is this. I urge you, my friend, to drink one more cup of wine. That sounds so simple, right? Just have another drink. But oh, there is so much packed into that one little offer. That one cup of wine, it's everything. It's a desperate wish to stretch out these last few seconds together just a little bit longer. It's a way to cut through that awful, heavy silence when words just aren't enough. It's a gesture of care, a way of saying, it's going to be cold and lonely out there, take this warmth with you. It's a vessel that holds all the unspoken I'll miss yous and stay safes and I'll never forget yous. And then
He tells him why he needs to have that last drink. This is the gut punch. West of the Yangguan Pass, there will be no old friends.
Just let that sink in for a second. He's not just saying you won't know anyone. He's saying our world, our friendship, the comfort of an old friend, it ends right there, at that gate. Once you pass through it, you are completely and utterly alone. It's a statement of fact, yeah? But it's a fact that carries all the sorrow in the world.
You know, a feeling this huge, this universal, it couldn't just stay as words on a page. No way. It had to be sung.
So almost right away, the poem was set to music. It became known as Yangguan Sandie, or the Song of Yangguan. For hundreds and hundreds of years, if you were saying goodbye to someone in China, this was the song you would sing. It became the official soundtrack for farewell.
So why the 3 repetitions in the name? Well, it's because when they sang it, they'd repeat the most emotional lines, usually 3 times, just to heighten that feeling. Can you imagine hearing that last line, "There will be no old friends," sung over and over and over again? It's like you can literally hear them refusing to let go.
So, Wang Wei took one single fleeting moment, a rainy morning, a cup of wine, a painful goodbye, and turned it into something immortal. It really makes you think, doesn't it? If you had to boil down a huge human feeling into just a handful of words, words that could still hit someone just as hard 1,300 years from now, what would you choose?